Tell me a little bit about your new amazing primetime network show that you've been a part of these past few weeks.
So yeah, I'm making an art project because it is an art project called The Terrible Awful Show. It's really just, what more can I say about the most terrible, awful thing I've ever made?
Exactly.
It's the only thing I've ever made, and it's the most terrible. I'm like, I don't know. It's this shitty show I make. Go check out The Terrible Awful Show. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to plug it.
What was the impetus behind that?
It's funny and it's getting better. Thank you, Brennan. No, really. I mean, it's I started doing it because I was losing my mind locked up in my house, and like all people, like, you either channel that into like searching for ways to spend money on the internet, or you put your terrible opinions on the internet. I
guess I chose the latter with this.
Exactly. If anyone's interested in looking at it, skip episode 4, and in fact, I've retitled episode 4 appropriately. It's just don't watch episode 4. But I did just put up a new video I'm very proud of called Centrism for Dummies. If you're interested about learning what a centrist looks like from 2016 to now, that's the thing I just did. So.
Which I haven't seen yet, so I can't vouch for it, but I have seen every other episode up to this point, so everyone listening, definitely go check it out. The only other thing I was going to tell you, I was debating on whether or not I was going to tell you this or not, but when I first saw the very first episode, you had a comment from, I don't remember the name of the account, but they said simply, loved it, to which I think you replied something snarky, but I don't want to destroy your spirit or whatever, but YouTube has been suffering this problem lately where it's not even a problem, it's just a weird fucking bug where these like bot accounts will go around and comment generic positive shit on like small channels. Because I've gotten that exact comment from
I'm glad to hear that they're watching my show.
Exactly, because I've gotten the exact same comment 4 or 5 different times on this show from that same account, and I too thought that I had a #1 fan, and then I found out that it was a Russian bot.
Yeah, I think you guys are both getting roped into those like child trafficking algorithms.
Well, I was about to say either you and I have trapped ourselves in the same botnet, or you and I actually do have a very loyal fan that you are now just roasting for no reason.
I hope that there's an exposed video like the week after this comes out, so I have a little bit of time to prepare for that.
Jacob Boyer doesn't care about his fan. So wait, but okay, so Brennan, what about that thing you're making?
Yeah, exactly. What are you making? This is the first I've heard of this.
I recently got a weed card. So I have been making this thing called myself very high all the
time. Oh my god,
that's about that. That's all I have to plug.
Yeah, if you want to check out The Terrible Awful Show or Brennan getting high all the time, both of them are available on YouTube.
Yeah, I definitely need to check out the second one. I have not seen that yet. Alrighty, so I guess let's just dive head on into it. We have some movies that we need to
well, have you seen anything other than what we've talked about, Jacob? Have you seen anything?
I have not seen much. I've been my work has been absolutely crazy. We're down to only a few editors to handle what should be the job of like 5 or 6 editors, it seems like. So I've literally been I'm running on maybe 5 or 6 hours of sleep over the past like 4 days. So it's been
you're a trooper.
It's been a little bit rough, but all in the name of public access television.
Well, all in the name of public access.
Yeah. That's an institution we can all get behind.
The collective demands the new.
Exactly. But no, I watched a few things. I watched the one that comes to mind is I watched the Jeffrey Epstein Netflix show. I fell asleep towards the end of it, but I did see the first 2 episodes all the way through.
I know what he's talking about. Is that actually worth watching? Because to me, it didn't.
It doesn't really present anything new. It just kind of elaborates on everything we knew already.
I want something that only presents the internet side of the story. I don't care about I don't mean to say this, but I don't need to hear the survivor accounts so much as I need more drone footage. It
is mostly because like I said, I watched the first 2 episodes. I fell asleep sometime towards the beginning of the third, and then I woke up as the last episode was ending, and I think there's only 4 episodes, but the first 2 were mostly all just to the victim accounts and their stories, and there was this trial in 2008 where he got a year's worth of probation or something, and then that's where I fell asleep.
That I've seen a lot of that deposition, and that's he's a fucking interesting guy to watch. But for me, I need to see Dog the Bounty Hunter on the hunt for Jeffrey Epstein and Anthony Bourdain, brothers in crime. Famous twin brothers, Jeffrey Epstein and Anthony Bourdain. That's all I care about.
I don't know. I feel like I heard enough about it, and I can't really trust Netflix to get.
Well, that's the exact.
Somebody at Netflix was definitely on the fucking plane.
Well, and
even we're riding the Lolita Express all day long.
Even the Michael Jackson thing on HBO was a little hard to give it credence because it's
I think I watched that one. I saw some clips.
We watched most of it, and it was this thing where it's I
barely could come.
Yeah. I just was it's this weird thing where I'm this is a cash grab off of this interesting story. Yeah. I'm just a little I have more integrity when I come. That's all. That's what it is.
I'm proud of it every time.
It's the Epstein thing is not if you weren't intrigued by it already, I wouldn't bother with it. I just put it on because I was I heard this was interesting, and then I fell asleep.
Yeah.
So
my uncle told me all about it during our Thanksgiving dinner, so I'm pretty much fully informed.
Your uncle was on Little St. James Island.
Well, exactly.
Exactly. How else would he know?
My uncle, Jeffrey Epstein.
Joffrey
Epstein. Oh man, but yeah, no, that's about all I've watched lately, aside from the recommendations for this show. But I actually know if either of you have seen or have heard of, I highly recommend the Velocipaster that was recommended on one of the last episodes I recorded.
That's on Tubi, I think.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely worth it. It's a hell of an experience.
We rewatched the 1986 Transformers movie.
Oh yeah, that was day one of me getting my weed card, where I was where watching it was aggressive to hear flashing colors and to see flashing colors and to hear Orson Welles' booming voice, which turns out that's a year after he died. That movie.
Oh really?
That's his final performance.
Damn, that's crazy. Well, there's someone else who's really big, whose final performance is a weird niche thing. What is it?
Philip Seymour Hoffman is Hunger Games.
Oh, well,
that's true.
I guess that's not niche.
That's just sucks.
It's just sucks.
It's a shitty reality.
Oh, actually, no. Speaking of Philip Seymour Hoffman, I remember there's a really good animated movie that he was in that I rewatched part of not too long ago because I was thinking of recommending it. Have either of you seen Mary and Max?
No.
Is that it's claymation?
Yeah, it's a claymation where he plays this 40-year-old dude from New York with Asperger's syndrome. And he becomes pen pals with this 8-year-old girl in Australia because they're both innocent and don't understand the weird implications of that. But it's a weirdly charming and kind of sad movie. But he was hilarious in it.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't remember what it's on. I think it might be on Prime. But yeah.
Oh, well, thank God for Prime.
And can we just take a moment to, send a big shout out to our overlords at Amazon?
Soon to be trillionaire Jeff Bezos.
Exactly. Yeah. Keeping all of us alive with their essential medical supply deliveries.
Yeah, well, I got my PlayStation a month in. Yeah.
I got a MacBook charger coming on Monday,
Mhm.
so you know.
Got a fleshlight, 2 weeks from now coming through.
You do not want to buy fleshlights off of Amazon because they're not from Fleshlight.
Well, mine's molded to look like Jeff Bezos' head.
Well, that's it. What else did we watch, Brennan? Because Brennan and I do this thing where we watch movies together on the phone or on Xbox, so I don't have to listen to my girlfriend and he doesn't have to put up with whatever his reality is. So, so I mean, we watch stuff all the time. When we had done your episode last, had I rewatched Heat 5 times yet?
Oh, wow, yeah.
No, I don't think that we talked about that.
Okay, so I rewatched Heat 5 times. And then I watched Point Break 3 times, re-rented Heat for another 2 viewings, all in 1 week.
I think you also watched Sonic, a bunch.
Oh my God.
I got my money's worth for Sonic, baby. I watched that 7 times in the rental period.
Is it any good?
Sonic is great.
But okay, but
Sonic
is it good or is
Sonic
it ironically good?
If you appreciate Jim Carrey, you just watch it at least one time because Jim Carrey gives a very good performance. Has some very weird, quirky, fun parts. I don't know. I'm excited for Sonic 2. That's where I'm at.
Actually, as much as honestly, I will say this, I did not care for Sonic, but they got me with a post-credit scene where Tails shows up. Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
Sorry, shows up in the post-credit scene, and I was like, "Oh fuck, we're building this universe now." and I don't know why I felt that way because. Aside from Jim Carrey shit, I despised the rest of the movie.
Well, I knew about that scene. What I was really hoping would happen is that because I saw that thing because someone sent that clip to me. I was really hoping the ring opened up and the original Sonic animation they did walked out and they set up enter the Sonic verse, but I was slightly disappointed by that. But
so Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik goes to a different world in that movie, and that's the ending hook for him is that he's now a crazy Darwin type stuck on an exo world, and he's gonna find a way to ingenuity his way through it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Sonic believer. I believe in Sonic as a personal hero of mine. So
yeah. Jacob, I actually just sent you a screenshot of the end scene of the movie. I don't know if you're able to take a look at that quick and describe that to your audience for us.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no. Okay, so then in the true fashion of having Brennan and Rob as guests on the show, we have...
Oh, hold on, no. Just Brennan. This has nothing to do with me.
We have a lovely picture of, or a comic, I should say, of... this horrible pixelation, I can't read this. Tails is bending over to sit and saying,
dude, this is some great work.
You may not be the...
Let me I definitely could read this stuff if you don't mind. It says, "You may not be the same Sonic, but you taste the same."
Is this a snapshot from that post-credit scene? Because I don't think I watched the full...
Yes,
yeah, they do some. Well, they do some X-ray fellatio stuff, made famous by Jav porn on Facebook. So it's a whole thing.
That's what it is,
If anything,
Rob, I personally wouldn't have started getting into this if Rob hadn't sent that picture to the group chat. I thought we could have moved past without it.
Well, shame on me for even mentioning Sonic the Hedgehog, knowing the implications.
Oh my god.
I rewatched. I'm also on this kick of just watching good scenes from good movies on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so much easier than having to watch the full movie. I can just go to that movie clips page and get the 10 best Dark Knight moments.
Right.
Yeah, and I've been watching porn.
Yeah.
coming in there with a funny little thing. I'm a funny, silly guy.
I've been watching a lot of, I think I've told you guys about this show before, Robert Rodriguez's show that he has on his network. A lot of the episodes were uploaded to YouTube, but his Director's Chair show that he does, where he interviews other famous directors. I really enjoy
I have not watched any of them yet, but yeah, you recommended the one with Tarantino to me for sure.
Yeah, there's two. They did two with Tarantino, where the first episode was him getting a start as a writer up until Pulp Fiction, and then the second episode was Jackie Brown up to Django, which I think was the most recent movie he had at the time. But there was a bunch of he interviewed John Carpenter, Francis Ford Coppola, Bob Zemeckis, Guillermo del Toro. It was a bunch of really good, interesting interviews with those guys. But Tarantino was hilarious in his interview. He goes on a 10-minute, no, not 10 minute. He goes on a 5-minute long rant. Not he's angry or whatever, but someone makes there's a segment at the end, I think, where Rodriguez emails other directors and be like, hey, what's your question for Quentin Tarantino? And I think somebody made the mistake of being like, are you going to ever make a movie that's not violent? And Tarantino launches into this 8-minute long thing about violence through the history in movies and how it's not a weird thing that he does it and how he's sick of people asking that question, and it's really funny, but not as funny or as awkward as that one interview with that BBC reporter.
Yeah, that guy.
Where he's high on cocaine, and he's like, I want little girls to watch Kill Bill.
There's a bunch of interviews with that BBC guy where he just pisses off the people.
Exactly, that Robert Downey Jr. one, too. I don't understand how he still has a job after that.
Yeah, which is very fun.
Yeah, news is all about, getting people to lose their
asses.
Cool. Yeah.
Which, my favorite, it's not the one that you were mentioning, but my favorite Tarantino interview from that era is the one where he's like, yeah, no, this was going to for the Django Unchained. This was originally going to be, it was going to be my first movie that was a sequel to not even one of my own works, and it was going to be an animated film. Jamie Foxx was originally set to recast Johnny Depp as the voice of Rango the Lizard, and it was going to be Rango Unchained. And it just fell through.
That's another. Rango's a movie that doesn't get a lot of credit, I feel like. That's a legitimately great kids movie.
I was about to say, Rango is a good flick.
Yeah.
Rango is is very hard to just get disappointed by that.
Can't shit on Rattlesnake Jake.
I my girlfriend doesn't like Rango, and learning that, I was like, we're done.
Marry her, then divorce.
Well, yeah, exactly. I have to put her through the whole thing.
I was with someone at one point who literally thought the exact same thing. It was like, oh, the animation is too gross looking. I was like, what do you mean? It's amazing.
It's just all Johnny Depp being a lizard. What is... I don't know what more you could want from the world.
And now, the more and more we know about who Johnny Depp actually is, he really is a human lizard. He really is a absolute scaly scarf person. I don't even know.
Well, we got possibly in one of the picks this week Johnny Depp's final sober moments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I just realized as you started to say that. Yeah. So do we want to use that as our cue to get into our recommendations?
There we go.
And but remember, that segue was actually intentional and purposely set up by the killer joke that was Rango Unchained.
Yeah.
So let's marinate in that for a second. Moment of silence before we move on. And that's how you segue. All right, guys, let's podcast.
All right.
Let's go, team.
So,
hands in.